Greetings and a good evening. Welcome to the atarangi. Let's make some arcade cabinets, cause I made a few of them. You might find one or two around in this area. I made a whole video with it, a music video obviously. I couldn't find a tutorial, so I had to figure it out, so I'll show you now. Usually I would animate videos like this, but I couldn't find a way to make that make sense. So we're doing it live. I'll add a little claus for some movement. Barry is here in case my explanations are whack. So let's get going.
We'll link that music video in the description.
Alright. So, first off you're gonna need a reference like this. We're gonna be making this cabinet today. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna grab a plane. You're gonna rotate at 90 degrees. Gonna move that in front. Where did it go? Why is it over there?
Ninja vanish.
We're doing it live, ladies and gentlemen. It probably did grab 90. There we go. Make it a bit smaller. And then we go into edit mode.
Why aren't you inside view? This is triggering me.
I'm never inside view. There we go. Jump.
Being inside view is a bit more accurate.
Imagine being accurate. This post was made by myself. So you just shape it to the silhouette that you have. Like this. And you're just going to extrude. You're just gonna match the... Don't extrude that much. You're just gonna match the shape as well as you can. You don't have to be perfect here, because obviously you might not... Well, unless you're working from a concept art. But if you're just doing for yourself, you don't have to match perfectly what the reference is showing. You can just do whatever you like, really.
It's called creative freedom.
It's also called creative license, which you don't have to pay for. Excellent.
Excellent!
So at this point you can hide your reference. Hide your wives, hide the children.
Hide your kids, hide your wife, hide your reference.
You just grab all of these. You just extra noodle them. Good old strudels. And you can just select everything and give it a bevel. Gonna get a bunch of extra lines if you do it that way. You don't have to do it that way though. You can also select the separate parts that need to be beveled, but I'm lazy, so I'm gonna do it this way. There you go, that's your cabinet. Add an old shade smooth to that. I usually go for auto smooth because I like some edges. Something break here? Looks like it.
Yep, you're crossing through yourself. Because you bevel.
Well, no, because I bevel too much. Wait, fix that. There we go. Here is one.
That's the limitations of doing it the lazy way.
Yeah, normally you would just select the edges that need to be beveled. So to this you can add a mirror modifier. And then grab whatever distance between the panels you want. Something like this seems right to me. Turn on clipping, turn on a bit of merge.
I would go slightly wider. This is a very thin cabinet.
Is it? Looks about
Yeah,
the same.
compared to the rest it is.
Fair enough. Thick!
That's thick.
We're going for thick.
Chunky.
Big chungus. And then there's a few ways to do it. So the way I did it is I deleted these planes, these faces. And then I selected the around loop. I need to be in edge mode for that. There you go, it does it in one thing if you did it properly. And then you just extrude that to the middle. Make sure you do it on an axis so it's as straight as possible. There you go, you got the cabinet basically. Now, you might want to bevel these edges as well. I would recommend either just throwing on a little bevel modifier if it wants to work. Or if you're gonna do it, you might wanna just grab these planes here as planes and make them a separate mesh, because otherwise you're gonna get n-gons at the corner. It's probably fine, but most people recommend avoiding n-gons, so you might wanna do that. So your next move, I would just apply the mirror modifier. Your next move would be making the screen, which is just selecting all of this, putting a little inset, and then putting a little extrude in. Like sensitivity. Like that. This one's in quite far, but that's fine.
Can't be that easy. It's that easy.
So then you end up with one of these. Next up, materials. Let's just grab some materials. Do I just have?
I think that we are currently selecting.
Yeah, I'm selecting everything. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That's by design. You select your side panels. Control plus to expand your selection. Control minus to unexpand your selection. Why does it? That's a bit funky.
It changes.
There you go.
Yeah.
Then you add a little plastic material. I think they're called splastic for me. And you click assign. Why are they called splastic? Don't ask me. I don't know.
It's just Klaus' naming scheme.
Yeah. And then for the screen you can just add any material you want, an emissive material, anything else. You can come back to that later. So for the UVs, I'm not gonna do those live because they take a bit of time. So let's just grab an old cabinet we have here and jump into the UVs. So you can see, you end up with something like this. Now this took a bit of editing. So I just used Smart UV Project with a bit of island margin. I shrunk down anything that wasn't gonna have images on it. And then I sized up the side panels, the title panel and the back plane. I sized up the back plane even though I didn't do anything with them on any of my arcade cabinets. Just in case I want to put like texture-wise vents or cables or stuff like that on it later. For this part, this is two of them on top of each other. That's so both sides are the same. I know I didn't line them up properly, but to be fair, these are stickers on real arcade cabinets. They wouldn't be lined up every time either. Well, they aren't stickers on all of them, but most of them. If you have title on your image that you're gonna be using, you might not want to do the putting them on top of each other, because it mirrors the title. This was fine for the video, because there was gonna be another cabinet against it. I just reused the title with the top here. Be sure, let's show the material. So this is this plastic material. When you're doing an image, be sure to match this color to something in the image, so the rest of the cabinet makes sense. It's gonna be the sides of the panels and any other plastic parts that aren't painted, because you're not gonna paint everything. Be sure to turn the clear coat all the way up, that's what makes it look like plastic. For this image, what I did is I generated some using AI, because I'm lazy and I don't have money to hire anyone. And then I just painted it on using, well, texture painting. And I used stencils like this. And I just painted the texture. Basically, I took a big square. Well, I took a rectangle, because that's the shape. Make sure to generate a rectangle if you're gonna be generating stuff. and then I just painted over it. That's how you get these. And on some of them I also, let's go back into normal mode. On some of them I also have extra materials happening. Like here I have a camo on the plastic. That's not painted on, that's just it's in slot 2. Send me to slot 2, thanks. That's not it, but basically I used the camo generator. It's by Ryan King, it's this one. Which moves us on to the controls. I've got controls on some of my standard cabinets over here. It's hovering here menacingly. Let's go into solid view so you can see what's material view so you can see what's going on. So I just modeled a stick. It's extremely simple. All I did was I made a sphere. I got rid of the bottom. I extruded it in. I extruded it down. Too far. Extrude out, up, out, down. That's all you need to do. Simple sphere, up, in, down, out, up, out, in. These buttons are just like this. It's pretty simple. I have a concave and a convex one. You can make whatever controls you want. A trackball, a steering wheel, you can just slap them on. You can just grab them, turn on snapping to face, and if you put your origin correctly, not like me, it just goes on. And if you just put them on the control surface, you can make them whatever size you want. I recommend keeping these separate from the arcade cabinet, because that way you can make more iterations. You can make light gun games. It's all pretty simple.
Basically, that goes for pretty much any model. If you're gonna have like a basic version, as with these cabinets, and then you're gonna like add on buttons, you might as well just do that when you import it to the scene where you're actually gonna be using it, and then just turn it into one object.
For example, this dense cabinet here. This entire bottom plane isn't even actually part of the mesh. It's part of the same object. I used Ctrl J. Like I can grab it, it's not attached to anything. But like that doesn't matter. I should put the better speaker grill material that we have on there.
Yes.
Alright, what's next? Screens? Maybe some any other controls they might want to slap on? Keyboard. Just an entire ass keyboard.
Show them the really bad gun that you made.
So I've got a shooting cabinet here. Well, let's show the proper one. I've got a shooting cabinet here. This is what the gun looks like. And before you say that looks like shit, yes it does. That's what they look like. They look terrible.
It works!
Alright, screens. So if you look at the video here, I'm not gonna do this live. So I've got this one here. Well, I've got several with the RGB pixels on them. This is from this tutorial. You could also put a paint material over a clip that you have to make it look like a fancy game. Here's a tutorial for that. I've got this glitchy screen with a VHS effect over it. You can do that. You can pixelate it several ways. Here's some ways to do that with tutorials. To make a curved screen like a CRT has. I didn't use that in the video, but I'm gonna show you how to do it now. You just add another plane, go into edit mode, snapping, vertex mode, snap it to the back. That one should be filled with. There we go. Then you just subdivide this a bunch of times. F3 to get this menu if you don't know. I should be in edit mode to get subdivide. There we go. Subdivide. need quite a few, so something like this might work. You click the middle, is this the middle? It might be. There we go. You go into turn off the snapping. You're gonna want a sphere, or either sphere or smooth, depending on what kind of screen you're going for. Grab it, make the circle, well, side view. It's gonna be the easiest. Grab it, make the circle a bit smaller than the screen. That's too small. Circle bigger. I'm gonna do its front view. G, make the circle big. Move it on, which axis is it towards me? It's X. And you just curve it a bit. And then you get a CRT monitor. There you go. And then you just slap on the CRT material. Which I do have, so I might as well do that. No idea what's on here. Nothing much.
Nothing much, just the reflections of a building in construction.
Yeah, at least I don't got floor dog.
Oh, now we have to show him.
If you shade smooth, you'll get rid of some of those pixel things that I had on there. Yeah, that's basically it. Am I missing anything? Yeah, you could add like a thing to put the coins in, power cable, air vents. I'm pretty sure I'm using a different black material in the back. You can change that out to a not black material. A lot of them have a title thing on top, my other ones do, this one doesn't. Because I made it have a big screen, you could put it on there, you could put the title on here as well, some of them do have that.
And the title can be done in either texture or...
Yeah. So obviously, a lot of my titles, if you look at the video, are actually just put on with the text object from Blender. You just pick a fun font, throw a cool material on there, and you're done. That's just where you can do. Let's show some examples from the video. I have quite a few of them. Be sure to use a font that fits the kind of game you're going for. Does Snailman have a title on this? Yeah, so Snailman uses, I think that's Impact font. This one's from the actual generation, which had a nice like glitchy font going on, which I like. This one's also from the generation, which we had two games that got different, like similar titles from the generation. So we made that a joke in the video, because it's Deprep and Deptiok. So we put a Dep 3 coming soon sign in the video. Like, have some fun with it. You can also, of course, just make actual art yourself. Here's another one that's a text object. For this one I actually scaled the top together to get the effect. So I turned it into a mesh and then I moved the mesh around to make this have the sloped effect.
There's plenty of options, and if you go through our video you'll see some options. Yeah, you'll see that we've had fun with the names of the cabinets.
Yeah, we had fun with the name. We had fun with the names of the cabinets. We have this racing cabinet here, which is like a whole car with a chair and a screen in.
I love how it's a car that I made, and then random gameplay from a game that's completely not related.
Dense pads. If you want to know my dense pad material, it's this. If you want to copy it, because it looks kind of nice on different angles. It's pretty
nice.
Hey Klaus, why is there a thing called cube around here? That's because it's from the plasma tube material from this tutorial, and I just used a little part of it. In case you don't know, I like throwing a lot of tutorials out there. I'm not gonna repeat other tutorials, I'm just gonna chuck you at them, and we'll see you next time.